So obviously, we all know what happened in Golden State this summer with the Warriors trading for Chris Paul, and in exchange for Chris Paul, they traded away Jordan Poole, one of their most promising young players out there. The third splash brother for a lot of people. Jordan Poole, who just got done averaging 20 points. Although he was inefficient, he was shooting like in the low 40s, in the low 30s from three. He was very up and down, but he still had amazing potential in my opinion, at least on the offensive end, because the defense, I don't think he will ever be a good defender. Not even a good defender, an okay defender. I think that's just not his thing. But offensively, he had such firepower, and he added a dimension to the Warriors that they were lacking. When Jordan Poole was on, it was very tough to beat the Golden State Warriors. So I was very surprised that the Golden State Warriors chose to trade away such a young player for an aging superstar in Chris Paul, who at this point, I think he will help the Golden State Warriors because last season they were struggling with turning the ball over a lot, for example, and it felt like they were needing that extra voice in the locker room for leadership. So Chris Paul comes in and he will take care of the ball, right? And he will also, in my opinion, bring that leadership that was missing. But still, I can't. I'm okay with the Warriors trading Jordan Poole, but not for Chris Paul. Not at this point, especially with the fact that the Golden State Warriors usually like to play really fast, and Chris Paul is going to walk the ball up the court. I don't even know if you start in or not, but back in the days, he used to be very good on defense. But at this stage of his career, in the playoffs, it's just not going to work. And we all know about his health issues. Every time a team really needs Chris Paul, he gets injured or he chokes. He's not really a choker like that. Like, he's had his bad moments, but it's just the injuries that just a problem. So I wouldn't have done that move. But we know that what pretty much pushed Jordan Poole out the door wasn't even his bad basketball play, because as a young player, you get a pass usually. You can charge to the game and say that the man is developing, but it's the relationship with Draymond Green. So what that tells us is that the owner chose to stay with what has worked previously. Obviously, that trio with Steph, Clay, and Draymond, when they're all healthy, they're very tough to beat. Last season was the first time that they lost while being all three out there in the playoffs since like 2014, something crazy like that. So I kind of understand why they would choose, but I feel like all good things must come to an end, right? And it felt to me last season that Clay or Dre had to go, in my opinion, and I would have kept Jordan Poole. The reason why I'm even bringing up Clay, I know that statistically he shot like his best percentages in a while, if not ever. But man, like watching him against the Lakers, when the defender were really, in him, applying pressure, he had a very hard time putting the ball on the floor. And his shot selection, because he still obviously is a top 3 shooter of all time. So I get why he has this mentality of shooters gonna shoot, the next one is going in. But he shot the Warriors out of so many basketball games in that series against the Lakers. And I just don't think that at this stage, it's not even his fault, but given the injuries, that he's worth the money that he's going to command next season or in 2 years. I believe that in one of the next 2 seasons, you will have to extend him. Draymond Green, I kind of consider moving on from him just because of all of the problems that he brought. But against the Lakers, again, he didn't play amazing. But when Draymond Green had a good game, you felt his impact way more than Clay. He was the second best player for the Warriors when he was on, just because he can do a little bit of everything. And Steph Curry, as great as he is, he's not always going to run the point, but Draymond Green can fill these responsibilities for him. But he's still big out there, so he can go out there and defend people. It's not just like Chris Paul, or if you run like a backcourt of Stephen Curry and Chris Paul, with Chris Paul handling the point guard duties and having Steph and Clay running up screens and all that, and Chris Paul passing the ball. On paper, it looks great on offense, and it will look great on some nights. But on the defensive end, they're just too small. And against the Lakers, they were beaten because they were too small. So if you add another small player that can't really play defense at this point, I don't know how this works. So the Warriors, I think that with this core, they might be done winning championships, especially given the fact that you have guys like Nikola Jokic, a big man who's the best player in the league, dominating. You have Giannis Antetokounmpo, he's a top 3 player. The Warriors have nothing for him. You have Joel Embiid. If the Sixers ever get over the hump, the Warriors have nothing for him. You need to get bigger. Even on the wings, you can't really guard LeBron James with no one on the Warriors other than Andrew Wiggins. Because Draymond Green, in my opinion, is a little bit too slow for that. The same can be said about players like Kawhi or Paul George. With the 2 wings, one of the wings will go off every time, just off size alone. And I can keep going like that. If they were to run against the Celtics and for once Jason Tatum wouldn't choke, I like the Celtics. So they just have to be bigger. Stephen Curry obviously is still good enough to win the championship or lead a team to a championship. He's still playing amazing. But if Clay and Draymond are going to fall off a little bit, Chris Paul also, they need to make up for it with either more wing depth, which they do not have, or more size overall, and they're lacking in both aspects. So yeah, I don't like the Warriors' chances to win the championship last season, and that move is kind of odd for me. I understand it in some ways, but yeah, man, the Warriors, it's not going to happen next season, in my opinion. Anyways, we're going to close the video right here. Get in the comment section and give me your thoughts about this move and about the Warriors' chances next season. And please like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys later. Peace.